Bijou Barbosa on the bass.
Hey, it's the announcement guy. I wanted to let you know about something that's coming up in the month of December. We're having a scavenger hunt where you're going to get 12 clues and see if you can solve the puzzle, and you'll be in line for some huge prizes. Can't even tell you what they are. They're so huge. But make sure you pick up one of these. Here's a random person walking by. Would you like one of these?
Oh, yeah, sure, thanks.
Holly Jolly scavenger hunt. It could be you. Could be you. Here's what's coming up.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. And it's time for us to do our most important and biggest outreach program at Mile High Church, which is the Giving Tree. Support our communities by picking a tag off the tree, and your generosity will be appreciated by many.
So my name is Melissa Alvarez, Family Engagement Liaison from Roseline Elementary. My job is to be the bridge between the community, the staff, the teachers, the parents, everybody, to achieve student success. You guys have been so splendid and supportive with our school, and we are so thankful for that. When you support the Giving Tree program here at Mile High, you make it possible for the kids to have Christmas. Thank you so much for supporting these wonderful kids.
Hey, Stacy.
Tom, you're looking awfully cozy.
Thanks. Thanks. I just got some Christmas PJs. I'm going to be wearing them on Family Christmas.
Family Christmas, Wednesday, December 7th. It's 3 parts this year. Breakfast for dinner at 5, and then 6:30, a family-friendly service. After that service, we got an after party right here in the community center.
Oh, awesome. I love breakfast for dinner, by the way, anytime.
For sure.
Pancakes, what else?
Pancakes,
Sign me up.
crustless quiche, sausage,
Crustless quiche.
crustless quiche.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, crustless
Every
quiche.
kid loves quiche. See you Wednesday, December 7th for food at
5,
for the service at
6:30.
and for fun and Santa after. So
After.
come join us.
It's time to celebrate the heart of Christmas at Mile High Church and our candlelight services. Rejoice in the music of Christmas, presented by our guest artists, Acoustic Eidolon, Bradley Hall and Gianna Nietheimer, as well as Tom Litch, Jennifer Burnett, Barry Ebert, the Mile High Choir directed by Stacy Landis, and the Mile High Band, Kent Rautenstrauss, Rob Lowe, Mike Marlier, and Bijou Barbosa. Also featuring the Mile High ministers, including our own Minister Emeritus, Dr. Roger Teal.
So remember to pick one of these up today on the way out. Saw the gingerbread man looking around for some clues today. See if you can beat him to the finish line. Have a great week.
All right, got to get your scavenger hunt. And the prizes are amazing. You're going to learn more about them in a little bit. But right now we're going to sing We Are Mile High together. You guys ready? All right, here we go. We are mile high, we are the world. We are every man and woman, every boy and girl. We are mile high, we are the world. We are every man and woman, every boy and girl. Look around and tell me what you see. Smiling faces shining back at me. All of my neighbors, all of my friends. One mind, one life, one heart. We are mile high, we are the world. We are every man and woman, every boy and girl. We are mile high, we are the world. We are every man and woman, every boy and girl. Take my hand, together we will be a love and light. We stand in unity. All of my neighbors and all of my friends. One mind, one life, one heart. Yeah, we are mile high, we are the world. We are every man and woman, every boy and girl. We are mile
Thank you, Tom Litch, Mile High Band. Ooh, I feel like we're walking out to give out an Oscar. This is nice.
And the winner is...
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mile High Church. So great to see you in our sanctuary, to have you watching online. Anyone drugged here for the first time by a friend for Thanksgiving weekend? We're so glad you're here, that we are a place that honors the inner light, the inner dignity, the inner beauty of each and every soul. And we come together in sanctuary each and every week to celebrate that, to reground ourselves in that truth, to live a more whole and abundant life. And did you have a good Thanksgiving, Michelle?
Did. Beautiful Thanksgiving.
Wonderful. And we're introducing something this morning that we haven't done here at Mile High Church before. Do you want to tell us about
It's
it?
a brand new thing. You heard about it if you saw the announcements. It's a Holly Jolly scavenger hunt. I wanted to tell you about it. I just returned from Egypt and have walked many sacred sites there and felt the energy of those beautiful sites. And I know that this place isn't 4,500 years old, but it is a sacred site for many of us. And a lot of you are here with us on a regular basis. Many of you watching online haven't come back to the campus yet, and this is an opportunity to come back without crowds around and have some fun and feel the sacred energy of this place during the holiday season. So you'll pick up a passport before you leave today. The ushers will have them as you walk out, and we will be dropping clues every other day starting December 1st through December 24th, where you can come back onto the campus and go look for the clue, find it, stamp your passport, because there'll be a stamp there, and turn it in on December 23rd or 24th to be eligible to win a prize. We have an adult passport and a kid passport, so families can do this together, and we have prizes for both adults and kids. In the adult category, the prizes include an iWatch, Apple Watch. It includes a parking spot of your own for the next year, for 2023. Yeah. It includes free certificated classes all year next year for one person. It includes a dinner with Josh or me. We'll take you out to some fancy schmancy place. Right?
The oohs and ahs aren't as big for that one.
No, they're not. I noticed that. Ooh, ah. We have a stay up at Breckenridge at a resort. We have a certificate for a wine club. So we've got a couple of other prizes on that. And for the kids' prizes, we have a $100 certificate for a Lego store, for some other fun prizes, a 3D pen, and a home concert with Dr. Barry Ebert is on that list too. Yeah. So play along with us. Have a great time. It's going to be a holly jolly scavenger hunt.
I think you beat the iWatch,
Yeah, you
Barry,
did.
with the
Yeah,
oohs and
you
ahs.
did.
That's great. Hey, let's recite our vision and mission together. It's coming up on the screen right now. If you want to say it along with us, it goes like this. Our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. So let's take a deep collective breath together as we honor that inner life that feeds our being with radiant joy.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. So right now, in this sacred moment, we take this opportunity to move from our heads to our hearts and open to the presence of the living Spirit right here where we are. I know that there is a divine creative energy that is alive now, right here. That same power and that same wisdom that brought all things into being, that love that always has been and always will be. We open to that. I affirm that the divine circuits are open in us right now, that Spirit might move through us easily to inform our thoughts and open our hearts. We pray this day for people all over this planet, that they might experience peace right where they are. We pray for all those whose lives have been touched by violence in our community. They might feel the love of the Holy Spirit where they are, that we might come together in community and open our hearts to a higher vibration of peace right here and all over this planet. We pray that the leaders of the world might be informed by thoughts of peace. And I affirm that we might experience peace in our lifetime. And I give thanks for our beloved Mile High Church, for this community, for the lighthouse that we are. I give thanks for all those people who have found this place for the first time today, walked in those doors. I give thanks for all of our volunteers who show up here and lend a welcoming hand, all those who work with our youth and our families. And I bless Reverend Josh this morning for his message of bringing our hearts to the moment, stepping out of time and into the world of spirit. We are blessed right now. For this I give great thanks. And so it is. Amen. Increase my faith in the things I cannot see, in the things I cannot prove, yet I choose to believe. When my confidence fades, oh, it's these words I pray. Oh, increase my faith, increase my faith.
Open my mind to the things I need to know, the thoughts I need to hold, and the ones I can't let go. Help me be wise and see the world through others' eyes. Open my mind, open my mind. Peaceful and free. Oh, that's how I want to be. It's the gift I want to give to the people I lead. Let each of us sing our own harmony. Oh, peaceful and free, peaceful and free. Increase my faith in the things I cannot see, in the things I cannot prove, and yet I choose to believe. When my confidence fades, oh, it's these words I pray. Oh, increase my faith, increase my faith.
Today's inspirational thoughts come from Anne Lamott. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. And from Thich Nhat Hanh, drink your tea slowly and reverently as if it is the axis on which the world, earth, revolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing toward the future. And from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, above all, trust in the slow work of God. We are quite naturally impatient in everything to reach the end without delay.
This is the moment, this is the day, this is the moment when I know I'm on my way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play. is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the hour when I can open up tomorrow like a flower and put my hand to anything I plan to fulfill my grand design, see all my stars align. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming and screaming become one. This is the day, just see it shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. This is the moment, this is the hour when I can open up tomorrow like a flower and put my hand to anything I plan to fulfill my grand design, see all my stars align. This is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckon second best. I won't look down, I must not fall, for this is the moment, the sweetest moment of them all. This is the moment, my final test. This day or never, I'll sit forever with the best. When I look back, I will recall moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all.
Tom Litch, everyone. Thank you, Tom. Bijou, Mike, Kent, Rob. Thank you, fellas. Beautiful. For those in the sanctuary today, when you came in, you got a holiday services guide. We're moving into the fullness of life here at Mile High Church with our candlelight services, family Christmas, winter solstice, and one of the biggest projects we do all year called the Giving Tree. And so if you're in person here, you can grab a tag on the way out. If you're online, you can make a donation online and check that out. And just while she's there, I just want to thank Reverend Jackie Harris, who leads this project with us, and all of our volunteers that help put this together. We're going to serve 900 families today here, and even more beyond that. It's incredible not just to give some of these families a Christmas, but to let them know that they're loved, that they're valued, that they have great potentiality to make this world a better place. I'm so grateful to be a part of that program here at Mile High Church. So grateful as well to talk about the topic today, stepping out of time, and would invite you to think about what that phrase, out of time, means to you. You know, to me, it means stop what you're doing. Stop the clock. That thing you're striving for, cease it, pen down. And usually I would have a negative connotation to that, but right now, it sounds pretty damn good to me. And I want to talk about today that this idea of stepping out of time can be a spiritual practice that when you return to your schedule can enrich your life immensely. I'm a big believer that we live in two times. One we might call time, the other we might call the timeless. And in time, that's where our social, egoic self lives. The self of schedules and to-do lists, the self of cell phone notifications and places to be. But there's also part of us that lives in the timeless, the part of us that's a soul, that doesn't have a soul but is a soul. It's the self of memory and intuition. It's the self of vision and possibility. And if you only relate to that part of you in time, you're missing out on this whole other layer where the sweetness of life really and truly is and can inspire us. I remember just before our daughter was born, my wife said to me, she goes, Josh, there will come a day when you won't be able to remember a time where our daughter didn't exist. I thought that was the weirdest thing I ever heard when she said it. But now at 4 years old, I get what she means. You know, I can remember 37 years of my life without our daughter, yet her essence is something so real that I don't think there was a time where that essence didn't exist. We find that especially in the holiday time with people that we love who aren't with us in TikTok time anymore. That there's still that soul essence, conversations to be had, epiphanies to be received, conversations that are ongoing at this soul level. No, I do think that all of us have times where we get in touch with the timeless, whether we're conscious of it or not. 10 minutes of meditation here, sipping some coffee or some tea, looking out the window at the beauty of nature, reading a book and losing track of the time, fully immersing ourselves in the play world of our children or our grandchildren. This sense of timelessness restores us so much so that I think it can be even more powerful than a good long vacation or more exciting than having access to every streaming network that there is. There's something about taking time for the timeless in our daily lives that helps us not only become inspired, but helps us feel truly who we are. Something in these days and times that has felt missing or absent for so many of us, this feeling of connection, of being alive, and of loving it. Howard Thurman put it this way: "Forsake us not in the tempests of our daily activities, O our Father, but tutor our minds and spirits in the great tranquillities, that deep within we may be still and know that Thou art God." Now, there is some philosophical basis for what I'm talking about today, about the time and timelessness. The Greeks gave us the terms chronos and kairos. Chronos was meant to describe chronological time, the time of schedules and hours and watches when they were invented. Kairos is a different kind of time. It's a time defined by opportunity, by spontaneity, by being fully present. Have you ever seen an actor on the stage who is fully in her element? Or watched an athlete that was truly in the zone? Or even found yourself living in a flow? And I believe that's what is happening is the timeless aspect of ourselves is coming into connection with a part of us in TikTok time. And there's this harmony. There's this resonance, there's this congruence, and good things start to happen. Mircea Eliade was a great religious scholar who studied just not the great world religions, but he also studied religions aborigine of indigenous people everywhere. And he came up with a theory that there are two kinds of time. There is profane time and sacred time. Profane time is TikTok, watch, calendar time. Sacred time is the time of creation. It's time primordial. It's the eternal now. It's the idea that that time in which Spirit created the heavens and the earth wasn't something that just happened billions of years ago. It's something that's present and alive right here and right now in you, wanting to create in your life. And we touch upon it in sacred time when we remember who we are. And Eliade would say that every ritual that a religion practices, be it a Native American rain dance, taking communion, lighting
the candles at Hanukkah, singing Surely the Presence on a Sunday morning. They're all in order to invoke this sense of sacred time, this primordial time where we all are as one soul, and it feeds and fills our lives. I would say, even in our secular rituals, many of them we probably just practice over this Thanksgiving time, can invoke that as well. Cooking a recipe from your ancestors that's been passed on through generations. Listening to music you've been listening to since you were a child or a teenager. Taking that time, however you are, wherever you are, that maybe you've been countless times before, to remember that divine truth of who you are. It fills your life. It awakens your soul. Your soul announces itself in yourself as your life right here and right now. Ram Dass, the great spiritual teacher, said that in the present moment, there is no time. When we're fully present, there is no time. Ram Dass would be late to meeting with friends, and the friend would call and say, "Hey, Ram Dass, I'm here. Where are you?" "Well, I'm here. Where are you?" Ram Dass would reply. You get it? For Ram Dass, the present moment, this idea of being here now, is the gateway into eternity. And think about that. The part of us that lives in tick-tock time is temporal, but there's a part of ourselves that thrives in the timeless. And the more time we nurture it and are present there, the more we experience our life eternal, our life without end, making time for the timeless. And all we have to be willing to do is to step out of time. How do we do that? We slow down. We become aware of our breathing. We allow our true life to announce itself, to reveal rhythms and cycles and ways of being that we were unconscious of when we were being such a busybody. And we get that sense that all is well, that all is divine right in this sacred time. Ram Dass tells the story of taking his 90-year-old father, this is as his given name, Richard Albert, back to his hometown of Massachusetts to visit. He hadn't been there in decades. And this is the 1990s. He gets all prepared to find all these places. He's printed out like 20 map quests. You remember those? And he drives them through all these areas where his dad grew up, and there's nothing. There's no spirit or life coming from his dad. And Ram Dass is kind of frustrated about it. He doesn't know what to do. And he decides to do it again, but more at the horse and buggy time of his father's youth. In other words, he goes much, much more slowly. Lo and behold, Dad came alive. Dozens of stories poured out of him. This is where I fell off the wagon. Here's where we used to get apples. Dad was full of tales, but it wasn't until we slowed down that his memory was able to come on board and awaken him to that old place. This helped me to understand why so many older people feel out of step, unable to connect to a world that is moving so rapidly. Why, as so many elderly folks have complained to me, they feel that time has left them behind. I don't know about you, but in these pandemic times with everything going on, sometimes I feel like time has left me behind. Anyone else feel that way? Where is it? I feel like I have so much catching up to do. I don't quite feel connected or my real self. Something's off. And for me, the answer is in cultivating this timelessness. The answer is in sacred time to give meaningful attention to this present moment so that it can reveal that doorway to step through into a greater way of feeling connected. And to not needing to catch up with the times, but to be willing to let them go and to claim, this is my time, right here, right now. I want to share with you this morning 3 gifts of the timeless. 3 gifts of the timeless, and the first is silence. The first gift of the timeless is silence. Can't quite hear it in the room, but I can feel it. The silence that I'm talking about, it in all actuality is really a metaphor for soul awareness. John Cage, the eclectic composer, tells the story of wanting and longing to hear absolute silence. So he has for himself built a soundproof room, and he sits down in the middle of it, everything cushioned in white, and he's so excited, and he goes into his meditation, he's breathing, and what does he hear? The beating of his own heart. Real quiet is elusive for many of us, but the silence that I'm talking about is a metaphor for quieting our mind, for invoking a sense of stillness, for allowing what's going on around us in the busyness just to fade away so that we can remember and allow our souls to come forth. Mother Teresa said, silence of our minds, silence of our ears, silence of our mouths. In the silence of the heart, God will speak. Sometimes I hear people who are really busy say something like, I just want to turn off. And I want to remind them, what you want to turn off is not yourself. What you really want is to turn on by turning off all the busyness going on around you. I really just need to unplug, per Jackie's quote. It's not about unplugging yourself. It's about plugging yourself into your soul by unplugging from all the busyness that's eating at your soul all around you, that's calling you to get back to who you are and what it is. When we can create space for silence, our soul announces itself. Probably for most of us, the biggest thing implementing our time in silence is one of these. Right? We can all hold the light up there and have a little concert here, but this is the cell phone, and I can give a different talk on social media and apps and all this stuff, but the truth is I love this thing. I just got a new one. It's fantastic, right? But here's the thing. I'm not worried right now about what's in this device. I'm worried for us what it's keeping us from. These things that we would normally describe as mundane that are really about cultivating that silence. When you're getting takeout and you're sitting waiting for it. When you're at the table with loved ones and that thing called an uncomfortable silence is immediately when there's nothing to say and we pull it out. Even, unfortunately to say, at red lights. That 60 to 90 seconds that just allows us to catch up with ourselves, we give it away. And so love these things, but do put them aside and remember that what we refer to as mundane or waiting or needing to be patient is actually these beautiful times that we can invoke the sacred. Here I am. Oh, I didn't know where I went. I'm back. Take that deep breath and allow the silence to take you more deeply into who you really are. Second gift of the timeless is forgetting. The gift of forgetting. A lot of us, when we're struggling, we're saying, what do I need to remember? What do I need to remember? I argue it's what do you need to forget? There's too much going on. And so forgetting, when done intentionally, can be a spiritual practice. Unintentionally, it can be procrastination and all that kind of stuff. But intentionally, forgetting can be a kind of spiritual practice. A practice that I have come to really love is running. I go running several times a week. Running might be a strong word. Sometimes I should better refer to it as like a brisk waddle. Here I go, going down, getting where I need to go. But I can tell how stressed or overwhelmed I am or how peaceful I am based upon what my thinking was doing on that run. So it's a mental health exercise for me, first and foremost. And if I get home and I make a pie chart of what I'm paying attention to and I'm stressed and overwhelmed, this is what it looks like. 20% worry, 20% regret, 40% arguing with other people in my head. Have you ever stopped to measure how much time you spend arguing with other people in your head? 20% not really listening or pushing down how I'm feeling. For me, stress doesn't ever come from anything going on around me. It comes from what this mind is doing. I could have a reason to say that I'm stressed sometimes. Mile High is a big church. There's a lot going on. My wife is working full time. We have a teenager who just graduated high school and is moving into college. We have a 4-year-old little girl. So much going on. But none of that has ever created any stress for me. It's that non-trusting, combative mind. It's that part of myself that thinks that I'm in charge or I need to be in control instead of the divine. I like how Mark Nepo referred to it. He was talking about Atlas, who holds the world up on his shoulders. And he said the problem with Atlas is that he believed if he let the world go, that it would fall apart. Right? So many of us have that Atlas complex that we think we need to hold the world on our shoulders, when the truth is if we just let it go, it might take care of itself. And we might feel a lot better also. The great mystics have sometimes called this minding your own business. I wanted to share something the great Frederick Buechner shared. He passed away this year. He's one of my favorite authors, a great Christian writer. And he talks about minding your own business. He says, mind your own business means butt out of other people's lives, because in the long run, they must live their lives for themselves. But it also means pay mind to your own life, your own health and wholeness, both for your own sake and ultimately for the sake of those you love too. Take care of yourself so you can take care of them. A bleeding heart is of no help to anybody if it bleeds to death. Let that weight of the world go. Forget about it. You say that way, forget about it. And when we forget, that's when we remember. Peaceful day, good day for me is when I come home from running and I didn't think about anything. I listened to music or to a podcast, or I let it be quiet and just heard the stomping of my feet, or I just enjoyed the radiant views of this beautiful state that so many of us get to reside in. And the funny thing is, you know what happens when I do that? All the work that I need to get done gets done. That healing that I need with so-and-so, it happens. The anger dissipates. That idea that I was looking for that talk, oh, there it is. Those hard feelings that I have, I just felt them. I'm feeling them. By intentionally forgetting and allowing ourselves to be in the now, we begin to see that it has just the right medicine that we need to restore our hearts, our bodies, our minds, and our life again, so that we can allow and work with a spirit greater than we are to heal our life, to get those creative ideas that we need, to be our whole self living that whole life. The final gift of the timeless that I get to share with you today is the gift of grace. The gift of grace. I'm not sure how to define grace other than that it's how God loves you. It's the kind of thing no human being can give. It's something each of us can only receive. And there are certainly times in the midst of stress that God can just grab us and pull us out. Those are wonderful experiences. And yet, ultimately, grace is something that I think we have to be ready for. We have to look for. We have to be open to. It's like the level of grace you experience in your life is the result of your rapport with God. To have a Buechner double feature here, he also said this about grace. The grace of God means something like, here is your life. You might have never been, but you are, because the party wouldn't have been complete without you. Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Don't be afraid. I am with you. Nothing can separate us. It's for you I created the universe. I love you. Does part of you believe that? Do you have faith in this thing called grace? And having a rapport with the Spirit within and around you that can speak to you if you'll listen, if you'll be open, if you'll watch for it, if you can accept the fact that the universe doesn't belong to you, but it belongs to this divine mind that inspires and brings us to life and embraces us when time demands. To sometime this week, when you're challenged or stressed, or you've gotten caught more up in the reality of the tick-tock time than the sacred time, just pause and ask yourself if you're open to grace, open to hearing it in a good conversation, open to reading it in a good book you're reading. The key is to not be attached to how you think it ought to show up, because you're not the grace creator. There's that presence, that greater mind of who we are that is always expressing. Find that grace. Receive that grace. Know that you are worthy of that grace and allow it to propel into your life. And if it feels missing, slow down. Quiet down. Forget what you think is so important and give yourself the very gift of being fully in the present moment. Ram Dass speaks about his father's final days. As my father grew older, he slowed down a lot, as people often do. He began to approach each task with a great deliberation and patience. Each action, whether getting into the car, climbing the few steps to the house, or settling into his favorite armchair, was accompanied by such attention that it became almost a kind of meditation. He found satisfaction in the completion of each small task. He would smile with contentment and say quietly, "There we are. There we are." Get quiet. Approach whatever is before you with reverence and with a meditation. There we are. There we are. There we are. Here I am. And when we have ourselves, return to ourselves again, we have everything we need to live a great and abundant life. Moving into prayer this morning, I invite you to join me if you so choose. Invite all of our incredible practitioner prayer partners to stand and join me if they choose as well. In this holy sanctuary of heart, whether we experience it in our teal sanctuary together, or someone's watching online, or listening to the podcast on a exercise bike, we are sanctuary together. Sanctuary is that place where we let God into our heart, where we let our hair down and make ourselves at home, where we know that we're loved just as we are. And that love of Spirit rejoices in us at the recognition that we finally stopped rejecting ourselves, allowing ourselves into the sanctuary of good, the sanctuary of healing, the sanctuary of love. Let us call our whole life into the sanctuary, knowing we bring it with us into the sacred time that envelops and underlines our waking moments and hours. I know even in the midst of the busy holiday season, there are so many moments of the fullness of grace. And I know wherever in our lives there may be struggle, there is also an underlining current of peace, of forgiveness, and of understanding. I know that wherever we may not be feeling like our true selves, that the radiance of our soul, the radiance that is the light of awareness of those who love us most, is right there, beckoning us to allow our hearts to remember by being fully present in this moment. May we bring into the sanctuary of consciousness anyone we love or care about, any place in the world where there is struggle or strife or suffering. Let us know, even for those who can't know it right now, that divine beauty and truth of grace, of God's love, of God's wisdom, of a creative power that can make amazing things happen is operating in their lives as it is operating in our lives and in our hearts right now. May the sacred be woven into every day of our lives, and may we delight in the recognition. And so it is. Amen.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. The love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Yes, it's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Well, when you sing it like that, I have to believe it. Thank you, Tom. It was beautiful. Thank you to our Mile High Band. Thanks for being with us here this morning. It is a weekend of gratitude here at Mile High Church, and so please know that we're so grateful not just for how you financially support the church, which is the purpose of this offering, but just how you show up for our spiritual community. I'm so grateful for our incredible prayer practitioners, all of our volunteers, our ushers and our greeters, everyone working with our youth. So grateful for our ministers, our incredible staff, our board of trustees. So grateful for this music team, production, all of it. And I know that this gratitude is creative, it's powerful. And as we're aware of what we're grateful for in our lives, I know that it continues to do great things for each of you and great things for our spiritual community. So thanks for all that you do to support it. And I'm so grateful for all the things that allows us to do, not only within our own community here, but out in the greater Denver metro area as well, and in the world. I'm so very grateful. So with that, we're so grateful however you choose to give to Mile High Church. For those watching online or those here, the text to give, mailing in that check, putting those coins that you found in the car, in the basket, whatever it is, however it shows up, just know for every bit of it, we are so incredibly grateful. Let's say our offering affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Running round, fixing this and that, then giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way. 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 Oh, get out the way and let God do his thing. You feel like the weight of the world's on your back. Well, take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Just get out the way and let God do her thing. Mile High Band. gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up to see if it's growing. Get out of the way. Oh, get out of the way. Gotta get out the way and let God do his thing. Oh, get out of the way. Oh, get out of the way. Gotta get out the way and let God do his thing.
Thank you, Tom and the band. Great work, great work. Thank you. Another great guest. Give them another hand there. We are so blessed by our music and all our production, and what can I say? And now I want to welcome any of you who are new to us today or who want to learn something more about Mile High. You can come to the Welcome Center right in the center of our lobby. We have volunteers there to chat with you, and you can pick up information on us. And if, do we have, oh, here they come. And our practitioners are coming down now. And our practitioners, if you need a prayer for more good in your life, or a prayer for something that's going on in your life that maybe isn't quite so good for you now, please see them. 2-minute prayer, and it'll make a difference in your life. You can also do a prayer request on our counters. And for those of you online, please go online to do a prayer request 24/7, and you will be prayed for.
So, Jackie, for those of us in the room, we go out, there's 2 trees out there covered in tags. What do?
You take a tag or 2 or so, and then you shop for the present. Then you make sure you put the tag on the present when you wrap it, and bring it back and put it under the tree so that we can, on our sort day, we can give them out to all of the organizations that we work with. And for those of you online, or even for those of you in the room who maybe aren't shoppers, you can go to our website, and it explains all of our organizations, and you can give us a little money in our Santa shop, and that Santa shop supports when we don't get tags back, and also it supports all through the year. We've done all kinds of things with the money that you've given. Thank you.
We're so very grateful, and so easy even I could do it, which I love. So Holly Jolly Scavenger Hunt is underway. So if you see anyone looking weird on the campus, that's probably why. We're so grateful for that. Our own Reverend Carol Wilkie is starting our Wednesday night insight that airs every Wednesday at 7 p.m. With that, if you'd like, please stand. Let's say our benediction together and sing our peace song, knowing that there is a divine self that we call our souls. I know that it guides, uplifts, and inspires us wherever we are and wherever we go. And so it is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace you.